So if you applied for support worker position, healthcare assistant support worker position in NHS, please listen. This is for you. This interview questions and answers is drafted from this person specification, the support worker position for this trust. Look at it. So we'll be drafting our questions from the person specification. Now look at what the specifications are. It's talking about um, good general education, literacy, and numeracy, or willing to work towards obtaining. So if you don't have it, I'm not sure they will take you because it is essential. So you have to remember during the interview they have different stages where they have to test your numeracy and literacy, where you have to do little mathematics and all that. Okay, willingness to undertake national care certificate training program. This is essential. You have your care certificate or your level 3. It all depends. So going down, you have knowledge. They need you to have awareness and understanding of importance of confidentiality, paying attention to details, demonstrate interest in healthcare services, and you have to expect questions from here: infection control, safeguarding processes, experience working in care settings, experience caring for patients. You have to expect questions coming from here. They can ask you questions, they can twist it, they can come in any form. Skills and abilities, good communication skill, and being able to work in a team, expect questions from there. Okay, professional relationships, all these things that is listed here. So I've drafted my potential interview questions from this person specification. So for you to prepare for this care interview, you have to first of all research on the organization values. What is the trust value? Make a research, please. If you have not, if you are going for this interview, if you applied for this position, please check the trust values. For every position you apply for in every trust, you must have to check what their trust values is, so that if you are answering your question, you have to be touching the trust values. Okay, review the job specification so you can familiarize yourself with the job requirements. You know what you will be doing. Reflect on your experiences. What experience do you have before that is in line that or aligns with the job you are seeking for? You have to make yourself, you have to reflect and be familiar with them as well. You have to also show signs or willingness to learn, because they've mentioned certain certificates. If you don't have it, you have to show sign that you are willing to learn. Practice interview questions, which we will do now. So you also have to ask relevant questions. At the end of the interview, please make sure you ask a relevant question for your own good. Okay? So potential questions that I drafted from this person specification. Number one, can you tell us about a time when you had to change your communication style to better support a patient or colleague? What do you do in the situation and what was the result? So why I put these three questions in one is for you to understand that they can ask you question on how you have adapted your communication to uh, better this type of support you give to the resident, and in what situation was that, or what was the result. Star method of answering interviews questions. Okay, so can you tell us about a time where you had to change your communication style to better support patient or colleague? So I have an answer here. What I have here is that I've once cared for a patient who have difficulty in hearing. So what I do is that whenever I attend to her, I make sure I speak loud enough. I make sure I increase the tone of my voice, and I make sure I speak slowly, and I make sure I speak clearly, looking at the patient face to face, making sure they are reading my my lips while I attend to them. It helps them to understand better, and it will help me to also express what I am saying to them. Okay. So when I speak to them in this way, they feel more comfortable, they understand what I'm saying to them, and they express themselves better. Okay, you see how I answered it. What was the situation? Hard hearing patient. You had a patient you cared for who find it difficult to hear. What that was the situation. What do you do? Whenever I want to attend to her, I make sure I speak slowly, clearly, and in a louder tone, making sure that I'm facing the patient face to face so they can read my lips while I talk to them. What is the result? It makes them understand what I'm saying, makes them feel comfortable, and their need will be attended to. Okay, I move to another one. The second question: can you give me an example of a time when you worked effectively as part of a team to deliver high quality patient care? In that person's specification, they made mention of team working. So expect question from them. So can you tell them or give them an example how you have effectively worked as a team to deliver high quality care? You know, working as a team automatically will result to giving quality care. So tell them how you have done it, give them an example. Okay. So if you want to answer this question, why saying it, you have to make sure that you point out what your duty is and how you also contribute in that team. Okay, so this is what I have here. I've worked in a hospital with the doctors, with nurses, and my other colleague, where we have division of labor, where when you come for shift, you'll be assigned on what you do. Okay, so what I do is that there was a time I was assigned to monitor a patient who needs the observation to be done, the vital sign to be taken every 2 hours. So whenever I do that, in between the 2 hours, if any other patient who I was not assigned to but for help and my colleagues are busy, I will go and attend to them and report to my colleague while waiting for the next 2 hours to check the patient vital signs. Okay, so this makes the job to be easier, not keeping the patient very long to get their needs sorted out, because they might just need a cup of tea or they might just need you to help them go to the toilet. So it is something you can do very quick, or they might just need any help that you can just render to them and go back to your duty post. So if my colleagues are busy attending to other patients, sorry, I'm using residents. You know, I work in a care home, so we use more of resident. And for this position, if you are working in a care home and you have applied for this, it is good you use resident, because this is where you are coming from, and that is the example you are giving where you are coming from. Okay. Ehen. If it is hospital, you can as well use patient. So I will be interchanging it. When I say patient or resident, do not be confused. They are still service users. Okay. Yeah. So you work in a team of doctors, nurses, and other healthcare assistants, where you were assigned to check on a patient to monitor their vital signs every 2 hours. So whenever you have done that and you are waiting for the next 2 hours, like in between, if another patient calls for help and your colleagues are busy, you have to go and attend to them. Maybe they want a cup of tea or they need tissue or anything. I'll just go and attend to them and report to my colleague what they needed, and I've sorted it out so they can document. Okay. And this helps the job to be quick, smart, and not keeping the patient very long to wait for their needs to be attended to. So this is how you work as a team. You communicate with them. You also seek for help if there is need. When necessary, you seek for help when necessary, because sometimes you might also be caught up maybe doing something else. So you have to seek for help and let your colleagues know so they can take over. So it's just you telling them what your duty is in the team, people you are working with, what is your duty. Now, when there is need for somebody to cover up for something, what do you do? And you are chance to do that. What do you? That is working as a team. You just have to go and take it up and continue from there. Do you get? Yeah. So that is it. The next one. So the next one, yes. How do you prioritize tasks and manage your time effectively, especially when dealing with multiple patients and changing needs? Remember, I've answered this question before, but I also found it on the person specification, prioritizing tasks. It is very simple. What do they mean by prioritizing tasks? Prioritizing tasks means, doing the first thing that you should do first, then attending to others later. Do you get it? Yeah. So how do you prioritize your task? How I prioritize my tasks is I do I tend to the patient that needs to be attended to first according to their needs. Some patients they may be soaked in bed, for example. So they need personal care before the other one that is still sleeping. So what I do is that I attend to that one that is already soaked in bed while going for the next patient that is sleeping. Okay, so just tell them, because, for example, when I come to work in the morning, I already have the list of patients I will care for and how I will care for them. But at the same time, I am flexible because I know uh, change is constant. Anything can change at any time. A patient's need, health condition can change at any time. So whenever there is change, I still have to re-strategize and attend to that person first, then going back to the other ones to make sure that all of them receive timely care. I also have to seek for help from my team members if necessary, so that I make sure that all the patients receive timely care. So it's just for you to tell them that you know what you are supposed to do first. But if there is need for change, you have to, re-strategize immediately and attend to who you should attend first, then come back to the other. Okay, and also you seek for help whenever there is need for you to seek for help, so that your team members can continue with other people while you continue with what you are doing. So remember, like I said before, why it is good to tell little stories, short stories, why when answering interview question is it can help you touch other things and cut down the number of questions you would answer. Okay. Because questions can come if you have a lot of things doing at the same time. What do you do? It is just to prioritize and seek for help. But now you have said it in one question while you are giving answer. Okay. So the next one I have here is, can you tell us how you have showed empathy and compassion towards a patient? What was the situation? How did your actions impact the patient's well-being? I like you to understand that the interviewer might not put this question this way to you, but I put these three in one question so that whichever direction they come from, you should not be caught stammering or looking at them and be like, "Whoa, I don't even know what to say now. What is this one saying?" What they are saying is for you to tell them how you have showed empathy and compassion while delivering quality care to the resident. Like I said before, empathy and compassion, they are very key, they are essential, very vital in this job. You cannot do care job without empathy. What is empathy? Empathy is putting yourself in someone's shoes. Okay? It's not you feeling pitiful for somebody, no, that will make you do what you are not. No, putting yourself in that person's shoe. For example, let's answer this question. You've got a patient who wants to go for surgery and they are scared. You know, it is normal to be scared, right? They are scared. I don't know what to do after this surgery. The pain, after, am I going to come out successful? They are scared. A lot of things are going on their mind. Now it makes them lonely. They feel so isolated. They want to stay on their own. They are thinking about it. You noticed it and woo, you go to them and be like, are you okay? What's going on? You had a chat with them, communicate with them, listen attentively to them, understand what they are saying, understand their concern, and you'll be like, you don't have to worry about this. I understand. It is normal to be scared. We are all human beings. It is normal to be scared. But I want to assure you that the quality of doctors that is taking care of your case, they are the best in it. They have been doing it, it have been successful. You will not be an exception. You will go and come out safe. We are all here, you give them assurance. You give them, you give them assurance, letting them understand that, oh, it is normal to be scared, it is normal to feel whatever thing they are feeling, but you are assuring them that they are going to come out successful. Okay, so that is what that thing is all about. Showing compassion and empathy, putting yourself in their shoe. Oh, I understand what this person is talking about. Showing compassion, reassuring them. Okay, I hope you understand what I mean. So we go to the next one. How do you handle challenging situations or conflicts with colleagues in healthcare setting? Can you provide an example? Remember, I drafted these questions myself. The interviewer may not ask you these things directly the way I'm asking you, but I try to draft every possible question from each of the bullet points. So whichever angle they come from, you will know what to say. So how do you handle challenging uh, behaviors or situation or conflict from your colleagues in the healthcare setting? It can come in any form. How do you manage a troublesome colleague? It can be how do you handle a colleague that have come to work and they refuse to work? It can be any form. So what do you do? Okay, so me as a person, to address a conflict, what I do is that I try to have open communication with my colleague. Okay, I communicate with them, you know, open communication, mutual respect. If we disagree on anything, we have to sit down, talk about it. I listen to my colleague perspective, my colleague listen to my own perspective. Then we work it out and agree on something, because the focus is on delivering quality care to the resident. It's not like about us. It is about delivering everything we can do to make sure that the environment is conducive for everybody, that we are working as a team, and that the patients are receiving timely and quality care. That is what the focus and the job is all about. So we don't quarrel. We don't. I don't quarrel with them. I don't run to report them to the manager or to the supervisor. What I do is that I communicate with them. Open communication, letting them understand my point and hearing from them too. Then we make adjustments. That is how I handle it. But if my colleague is not giving in for, you know, for us to sit down and talk about it, I'll have to inform another person that is above us to see what they can do. But I don't just run to report the person. I make sure that I respect the person's opinion. We sit down, talk about it. I hear from them, they hear from me. Then we'll sort it out. Okay, that is how I do it, and this is what I would say. Okay, so remember to focus on your strengths. When they ask you this thing, they are looking at to see what your strength is, what your experiences is, you know. So for me, open communication, that is a very good strength. Active listening, listening to them, understanding their point, what maybe their reason for saying no to that or for saying yes to that, and I'll tell them mine, then we'll resolve on the common ground on what to do. Okay, so the next one, can you describe your experience working in a healthcare setting? In the person specification, it is written experience working in a healthcare setting. What is this thing talking about? It is only it wants to know your experience as a carer. Like I said, this question can come in any form. Experience working in healthcare setting. Hmm? How did you contribute to the team and patient care? It is asking about your care experiences. What experience have you got caring for somebody? What was your duties towards them? What did you do? What was your work? So how do you answer this question? So you tell them that working as a healthcare assistant, You've worked with nurses, with doctors, district nurses, and your team members, where you have to deliver quality of care. So what you do is that you assist the patient on their day-to-day activities, their daily activities. You help them with personal care. You offer emotional support. You engage them in activities, monitor their vital sign, update their record, provide emotional support, and listen to their concerns. Okay, you also pay attention to details while working as a team, collaborating with your team members, seeking for help when necessary, and making sure that the environment is safe and conducive for both the patient and the team members. So that is your experience working in the healthcare setting. Your experience, people you have worked with, doctors, nurses, your colleagues, chef, that is people you work with. What do you do? You offer support with personal care, checking vital signs of the patient, giving them emotional support, engaging them in activities, helping them in their recovery time, you know, working as a team, collaborating with your team members, paying attention to details, and making sure that the environment is conducive and safe for everybody. It is as easy as that. So if they ask you what are your duties as a carer, or what will, it is still the same. Your duties, you work with other team members, the nurses and the doctors, you offer personal care to the resident or patient, you give emotional support, you engage them, you monitor their vital signs, you help them with feeding. That is, yeah. So we move to the next one, which is how do you maintain patient confidentiality and ensure accurate record keeping? Can you provide an example where you have done this? So it can be, what do you understand by confidentiality? It can be, can you give us an example where you have maintained confidentiality? It can, or can you give us an example where you have demonstrated confidentiality skills? It can be anything. So, what is confidentiality? It is keeping patient information safe, following the company's policy, the trust policy, the hospital policy, keeping the patient information safe, making sure that the patient information do not get to unauthorized person. If this information should only get to the doctors and the nurses, it shouldn't get to the cleaner, the domestic, it shouldn't get to the chef, it shouldn't get to the security, it shouldn't get to anybody. So you make sure that the patient's information, their data, everything is safe. Their name, their phone number, their house number, their ward number, their bed number, the medical history, everything that concerns them shouldn't get to somebody that should not have the information. That is confidentiality. Okay, so can you tell us when you have demonstrated it? Okay, it is very simple. We've got a patient who have got a medical issue, and after receiving the patient at the hospital and documenting their history, I made sure that the paper used to draft about their details, that we should put them in the shred. I put them in the shred machine, and make sure that nothing is done. I make sure that the system used was shut down or locked or closed, and the cupboard or drawer or anywhere that we put the paper, I make sure that it is locked so that nobody have access to that. These things are major. These things are how you demonstrate that you are keeping their information safe. You can also say that you do not discuss these things to who should not have the information. Okay, so um, the last one I have here is, can you describe a time when you took the initiative to improve patient care? Okay, when you talk about initiative, it is when you find out something on your own, Now, by yourself, you think about how to, how to improve on that thing or what to suggest to help improve that situation. Bringing out your own suggestion, your own idea, your own opinion for effective and quality care. Okay, so you can tell them, yes, you've used your initiative. You use your initiative all the time, but you would like to share with them a case where you have patients who were they used to feel so lonely in their ward. So you suggested to your members to have something like a music section, slow and quiet music section in the ward during in the evening time. Okay, so in the evening time, anybody that is interested will just come out to that communal area. You play music in a very low, very low tune where you dance along with them and it makes them feel happy. You can find anything, use your initiative, think out something. If it's in a care home setting, you can say something about the resident being bored. You suggested to the care coordinator to that you notice that the resident loves coloring, they like to color things. So coloring material was provided for them. They were all busy coloring. So use your initiative now, your experience, what was in, how have you in any way think out something, say that thing out. Your team member, they bought the idea and they put it into action and they brought out positive results. Yeah, so this is all I have to say considering what I have in the person specification for this job position. Okay. For people going for this interview, I wish you all the best. If you are yet to go, or you have applied for a support worker position, you see things like this in your person specification. This video is for you. Feel free to share it to anybody you wish to know it. Please recommend my channel to people. Let them subscribe. Subscription is free. I will be happy that every day people are subscribing. Drop your comment. If you need my help in any form, let me know in the comment section. I'm willing and always ready to help. Okay? All the best.